What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we need to look at this overall market situation. This is really interesting, and I'm going to show you one big difference of what I see between BTC and all of the alts. And of course, none of this is financial advice. I'm just telling you what I see on the charts. This is not for making buying and selling decisions. So my thoughts about BTC and then the alts. Here's what I see on BTC. It looks like a bull flag is forming again. This would be a small bull flag, not as big as the one before. We had this obvious bull flag here. Here's the flag as I draw it out. And once we got to the end of this consolidation period, it jumped up to the next level. There we go. It came up here to this peak somewhere around 115,000. So then we fell off. This actually was another bull flag. All right, and then what do? We jumped up to the next peak, and then it made a smaller bull flag, and now we're in yet another small bull flag. If we made a poll here, we got a little flag right here, but is this going to jump up or is it going to jump down? The biggest thing that sticks out to me is that we're getting declining returns on these bull flags. We have our biggest one here. The next one was smaller. The next one was smaller, and now it looks like we got this itty bitty one right here. Looking at the stochastic peaks, I've got the stochastic set to a rounding of 10 instead of my usual 3, just to take the noise out of it so we can look at in general what's going on with these peaks. So we were at the low, we had the crossover, we jumped up and we stayed up here and oversold while we were in this consolidation period. And then at the lowest of the stochastic, we break out from the bottom of this bull flag to the next one. Here's the peak. Bullish, very bullish up until this peak. And then we had a crossover. We corrected down a lot further. And at the base of this correction, there's your bullish crossover. We jump up again. What do you see right now? Stochastic about to roll over. Now, is this going to crawl over right here and slump down for another cycle? Or is it going to stay up at the top where we get several humps? I don't know. We are close to moving to August, and I'm hearing that August is going to be bullish. So this is going to be interesting. We'll have to just wait and see what plays out for Bitcoin. But we're obviously in a bull market approaching the overall bull run. Very healthy for Bitcoin there. Well, let's just move on and see what the alts are looking like. Ethereum has been on a roll. It's just going on a romp. So popping up Ethereum here. A little bit different than the Bitcoin chart. What do we see? We see that during this stochastic cycle peak, we peaked out right here. And then it corrected down while the stochastic stayed up here at the 80 line. And then it jumped up and took another bite at that 3,800 price or so. And then we finally corrected down. Here's the low point of the stochastic. There's your crossover. We jump up for the next peak right here. There's your peak price. And then, of course, we had a very nice, easy cycle. When it just goes up, down, that makes it a lot easier to know what's going to happen next. So on the next swing down, here's the low point, coincides with the stochastic low. There's your crossover and it moves up. But what do we notice up here at the top at this peak price? Well, we notice that the stochastic looks like it wants to roll over. We also notice that we're not breaking any new all-time highs. These are all on the same level right here at around 3,800. So when is it going to break out of this? I think it's going to break out of that strong. I do think Ethereum will probably surpass 10,000 at the bull market peak. But right now, it kind of looks like we're just going to possibly take another trip down and come back up again. And so this whole zone of what we're doing right now, this is a consolidation. I don't know when the big breakout is going to be, but for right now, it's looking bearish. All right, let's move it on to the next big one, which is Solana, sitting at 176 bucks. Similar chart, but one big difference. We had the peak that occurred, and then it pushed up for a second peak during this stochastic rollover here. It crosses, rolls over, dips down. We take it all the way back down to what, 100 or just under, and now we're rolling back up again. But as we see this bullish trend moving up, because we get the higher low right here, we have an impending rollover right here. You see that fast line curling over, and this coincides with this rollover in price. We're currently in a red candle. So what happens next? Well, it could be that we jump down and test this blue line, and that blue line just happens to be right at this big fat volume node of 144. We could correct down to 144 and possibly bounce up out of that and hit the next progression of these higher highs. So this whole channel right here was broken when we capitulated here and came down, and now we got a new channel forming. So with the new channel, it looks like we could draw a line here and draw a line here and watch closely to see what happens if we settle here, move back up to the next peak, and maybe it matches a previous all-time highs. Definitely bullish action, but we don't see an overall upward trend like Bitcoin. This one is similar to Ethereum. All right, let's keep it moving. XRP is currently at $3.11. Now, this is a little bit more bullish than the ETH and the Solana chart. Why? It's because when we had this stochastic peak here, we had the all-time high. And this made a big bull flag. You can kind of see it here. Here's your flagpole. And then when you kind of connect the dots here, we had the breakout of this flag right here. Here it is. And we hit a new all-time high. So that's pretty healthy. But of course, we're sitting on these two red candles right there. And it looks like the stochastic is trying to curl over. It looks like the MACD oscillators are trying to curl over. And we might have a lower high. That's a divergence. If this thing rolls over here, it's not making it as high up as the previous peak. And so then we're printing the green bars on the histogram, but that's probably going to roll over and go to light green as price is looking to dip down. So where does it land? It could land somewhere here at the base of this current flag and then maybe bounce out from there. We know what's going to happen at some point, probably August. There are people who are saying the bull market peak is going to happen in August. I heard Chris from Crypto stating that he's of the belief that this cycle is going to be over by then. Other people are saying October to November. And you have some saying it's going to stretch into 2026. Whatever the case, this is bullish. We are in the bull market. Let's keep it moving. Next one, Kaspa. Wow, look at this Kaspa chart. Okay, so Kaspa is still obeying this downward sloping channel. And I'll tell you why he had this. We had the big reverse. There's the pivot point right there. And after hitting that 25 cents all-time high, they did the test of the smart contracts, and it had errors, there were problems, and people got a little afraid, and we've been in this downward trending trading channel ever since then. But now we have news that the layer 1 to Kaspa is going to be successful. The block time is down to what? 10 blocks per second closing, which is the fastest of any proof of work blockchain. That's pretty significant, but we do have a rejection at the downward sloping line of the top of the channel. Coincides here with the stochastic crossover, and it looks like we're going to dip down. How far will it go? Maybe we go to this volume node right here at 7.5 cents, but I do think that we're going to break this channel soon. As soon as price settles above this line right here, I think the swing is going to happen, and we're probably going to go into a very bullish channel as we approach the bull market peak. So Kaspa, it's looking exciting. I'm very positive and bullish about it. Sitting on my bag of 101,000 right now. We'll wait and see what happens. Okay, Litecoin is also a good indicator of what's really going on. And Litecoin right now is just saying, I'm consolidating, all right? Ever since it hit this peak at 419, wow, look at that. Okay, so the 419 occurred back in 2021. That's the bull market peak of the last cycle. And it looks like a very boring but healthy consolidation ever since then. All of the action is right here in this zone. Well, I can tell you what, whenever this project launches out of this consolidation box, will know that it's bull run time. That's why I keep my eyes on it. And even though we do have a current red candle forming, look at the stochastic. It's very bullish. There we are. Very, very bullish. By the way, this is on the 1 week chart as we're looking at the big picture. So as we run into the depths of summer here, I think we're going to have a run breaking out of this. All right, let's clear that out. Is there anything else I want to look at? Chainlink. Same thing as Litecoin. It's pretty much just been a big consolidation since the previous bull market peak at $50. So Chainlink is currently forming this red candle right here, and I expect this stochastic to roll over. So I'm thinking, yeah, we might drop down to this big volume node here at $14.17, and maybe it jumps out from there. Okay, so let's take a look at these charts again, but we're going to back this up to the 1 day and go backwards. So on the 1 day chart, there's a rollover on Chainlink. All right. So we're looking like we're going to drop down probably to that $12 to $14 price in the thick of this node on the VPVR. This has to play out. This is going to roll, cycle down, and then we're going to come up out of that. Go backwards to Litecoin, same thing, rollover on the stochastic, red candles forming, looking like it wants to dip back down to the $100 level. Back it up, looking at I don't want to look at Taraxa, that's a crap project. All right, Caspa, sorry about that. So Caspa has rolled over, and we see that the stochastic is dipping down. We also have confirmation of the oscillators on the MACD. But I don't think we're going to go much further below this 8 cents level because we're already making our way down around the 60 to 70 line on the stochastic. So we'll wait and see what the bottom of the cycle tells us. And then as we move upward from there, hey, it's probably going to be party time. All right, moving backwards, XRP, definite rollover on the 1 day. Look at that, sharp decline, but price is not coming down that far. Maybe we touch back down at 235 and then we go up from there. A big volume node here says this could be a significant support level. Let's back that thing up to Solana at 177. Same thing. Do you see this? Do you see this recurring chart? Big rollover on the 1 day stochastic. It's looking bearish. We might jump down here to about 152, and we were seeing 145 on the 1 week chart, so that coincides. And I think it's going to be time for the bull run after that. This kind of makes me think that, hey, August could be the time. Who knows? We'll just have to play it by the chart. Nobody knows when the bull market peak is absolutely going to be. But I think August is going to be looking good. There's Ethereum. Absolute rollover on the stochastic. Got a little bleeding going on here with the candles. I would say that there is a very strong support rather at the red dash line, which is 2,808. I think that's about all we're going to get on this correction. Maybe we stop down here at 3,348 and it moves upward from there. But those are the two big nodes. You're either going to find support here at 33.59 or you're going to drop down to the red dash line. And finally, going backwards to Bitcoin, this is a really weird formation and it still looks like a bull flag to me, even though it's a small one. So as the stochastic has fallen off, notice how this is dipping down, but price is staying up here at this node at 119. Do you see that? And that's the big differentiator. That's why Bitcoin is so much stronger right now. We're not just yet in an alt season because Bitcoin dominance is very high. And while we're dipping down on that stochastic, price is not budging. So this could be a bull flag and we could launch out from this point. Bitcoin might not want to correct down much further than 116, 117. So we'll keep our eyes on it. We'll wait for the big move and then alt season will be around the corner. All right, if you want more general updates of the big projects, let me know. You definitely want to tick the notification bell, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Post in the comments. Tell me what your favorite picks are. I will have an AI project report coming up next, and then we'll jump back into the memes. I love the memes. There's so much action on the memes and the volatility is high, and that's why I love to swing trade them. So if you are interested in joining the private group where you get to see all of my trades and hear all of the discussions as we watch the market 24 hours a day, You can look into that by clicking the link below. Don't join before emailing me first. I don't let everyone in. I want people that can afford to do this, have a little experience and an understanding of the markets and the volatility. And we will have financial advice coming to the private group when my cousin Eric, who is a financial advisor from Dallas, is going to join the discussion. So unlike all these other channels that just say not financial advice and just leave you hanging, we're going to have a financial advisor to help us out. So that is all we've got for this one. This is Carlton, and I am out.